Hey everybody, welcome back to Angry Badger Minis. Still working on the project here, and if you hear anything in the background, it's the baby monitor, so I apologize. We're on a lot earlier this evening because everybody else is exhausted and they're going to bed, so my nightly routine has changed, at least for tonight. We have been fairly successful, I would say, with our project of trying to make these tank rails. We are, I forget how many we are. We got 10 here, 10 pairs rather, for the Armageddon Steel Legion. Another one's over here cooking or curing. I got another pair down here that I'm cleaning up along with the tank commander and the arms. And then I've got another, I don't know, 5 or 6 pairs over there for my Krieg. But we've got, let's see, 3, 6, wait a minute, 6, it can't be right. Let me think about that. We got 3 in the Baneblade box. We got these 3 that we made. Oh, and then we've got the Forge World ones that go on the actual Forge World one. Alright, so I guess I only need, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I only really need one more set of these for normal Lehman Russ tanks. The only problem is I was having problems with the arms coming out, and so that's been one issue I've had, as well as, no, I've got all 10 here, so that's 5 tank commanders. I just need all the arms, so I'll have to make some more arms or what have you, but that's not going to be a huge issue. And then of course I've been sitting here cleaning things up. Again, for those of you new to the channel, thank you for tuning in. I'm not making this stuff to resell or forego having to buy models for say. This is stuff that you just cannot get in that regard. And I say that not to forego models, but I mean, honestly, if the model doesn't exist anymore, I don't really care. Or the fact that I'm not a competitive player or anything like that. This is really for my own edification and wanting the armies to look and feel the way that I want them to. And having learned how to cast these things, that has greatly increased my ability to make my armies my own. I know that if I were to go to an actual tournament, GT, whatever, I'm gonna have to cut back, on stuff, and that's fine. I mean, this, for instance, this Krieg army, it's massive anyway. All I'm doing right now is cosmetics, really. But the 3 tanks that I made, or I didn't make the whole tank, I just made the parts, not obsolete and just sitting around, and now I have an actual tank, that I can use to play with. Those obviously would not go with me into the tournament. Alright, so we got 2 good arms there, and that's really been the biggest challenge with this mold for some reason. Something else that I moved to as well is, I don't know why it didn't occur to me before, but I've got these Lego, sheets that I got. I believe I got these off of Amazon pretty cheap, and basically I'm using them as blocks to hold it together versus putting all the rubber bands on that you see over here that I was using, and I'm clamping it in place very carefully. And then I'm also choosing to pour in a certain location to help minimize, bubbles and things like that. And it's actually, at least the last 2 casts have worked out fairly well. Let's see here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so that's all Steel Legion. Let me see if I've got 10 arms worth yet. Don't lose that arm. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, we got 10 of those arms, so that's good. I don't think we have 10 of the Bino arms yet that came out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, we need 3 more. And what I plan on doing with that, so that I'm not having to make, you know, more of these tank rails and waste. I say waste. I'm not really using that much of the plastic, which is quite phenomenal, to be honest with you. And I kind of like these. I've been actually looking at them as I know I have to make more arms, and thinking about ways that maybe I can use these for structure type things, you know, terrain, you know, whatever, sides, you know, rubble, things of that nature. Rubble would be the easiest solution, obviously, but you know, maybe, I don't know, I mean, you know, some kind of archway, you know, things like that. I've also been trying to experiment and figure out a way that I could potentially put or make a tank rail for these chimeras, even though it wouldn't go like this, like per se. Maybe there's a way, I'm not sure, maybe I cut off some of this and, you know, cut it off, cut this piece off, lower it so that it sits, you know, just enough underneath. But I don't know, I think that it would probably bottom out if that was real. So I'm not sure that that's the route I want to go. Maybe there's another way. And then I also, now that I'm thinking about it, because I thought about it and I didn't look, was to see if the Chimera is actually longer than the Lehman Russ. It's not. Okay, so there goes that. So basically my Krieg are going to have to figure something out, and hopefully they never get bogged down or whatever. Or I'm going to have to come up with something. Maybe it's just a couple of rails or something. You know, that's a good idea. Let me think about that here for a second. Or let me look at it again. So you have a couple of rails that come off the end without this piece right here. But a couple of rails that just come off the end that would be realistic, that the true patch could fold down on it, and then they could just jump off. That's a possibility. See, this is what happens when you get to talking through, you know, what it is that you're doing. What did we say here? We had 7 here. Let me put these back before we go any further. And so, like I said, I'm just waiting on this to cure right now. Something else I've done, and it won't be ready for another couple hours, I imagine, because I started it at 7, is I started a mold. I can feel it, but I'm not going to chance it. It's a very, I don't want to say it's a thin mold, but it's a smaller mold. I made a mold for the guard that I guess they don't sell anymore, that I want to make a small army out of. And we're going to see how it works. I mean, and now it's just the first half. You know, I have no idea how long we'll be on tonight, but it's, you know, and I'm hoping to see some of you guys on, since it's a little earlier, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here. But you know, say hi or what have you. Once that's done, I'm gonna pour the other half, and you know, and hopefully it's gonna work out the way I hoped. And if it does, I'll have a sergeant and I'll have 2 troop lasgun dudes. All of them, of course, will have. I'm trying to think. I think they're called Kazarkin, maybe. I don't remember, but they've got the Cadian style helmets, but they got gas masks, and I believe they're the hotshot lasguns with the cable and the backpack and stuff. But I just like the way they look, and I mean, again, it's not an army I would take anywhere to compete with or whatever. And I mean, I can easily, you know, if it works out and my stormtroopers work out, you know, the old style stormtroopers, I really like them. All of them work out, you know, it'll be just fine. But again, it's going to be a more, you know, small 500 to 1,000 point type, you know, army. It's amazing the amount of parts and things I have to put together. And that this part right here is holding me up, because I need to be able to have the pieces to put the tank commander in with his arms and all that kind of stuff before I go any further. But we're making progress. I'm also trying to figure out the best way and what you guys think is the best way to go about, you know, continuing the channel when I'm doing this modeling stuff. I mean, here we are literally kind of watching paint dry, and I'm doing as much multitasking as I possibly can, but it's, you know, there's only so much you can really do. It feels pretty hard right there. Let's pray for rain. And, yep, you got it. Cool. So maybe I have, hold on, that feels a little soft in there. Alright, so I'm not going to pull that out at the moment. It was hard up here, but it's softer in there, probably because of the contained heat that keeps it a little soft. But as you guys can see, we've got a solid deal here, and I'll just point out what we got. We got the 2 tank rails. We've got, now these are just, you know, when I made the mold, I just put the guy in with the thing that they had, and then I took an extra piece here and made a channel. I made some wider channels here. I made some channels here. We've got the body of the tank commander. He's face down right now, and then we've got, you know, the one arm and then the arm with the binos. So either way, you know, mostly what we're gonna need are these arms with the binos. Well, really these 2 arms, to be honest with you. But through a little tweaking today as I was going through problems, you know, looks like we're getting, you know, we've really gotten it down. And then what I have been doing is actually pouring right here in between these 2 tank rails, and as they fill up, I'm not having any problem with them filling up, basically because of, you know, this air channel for that, and then this right here, as it comes down, you know, it drops down in here and then it pushes that air up. The air can either go this way or it gets forced in here and then goes up as the stuff starts going in. And that's really the key to making these things, is the, you know, are these channels. Gosh, I don't know. This English I'm doing in college right now has really got me going crazy between reading the Iliad and whatever, and, you know, friggin' son of so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. You guys, matter of fact, you guys might get a kick out of this. So I don't know if I wouldn't say I triggered this person, but it was interesting that they were upset that I said Achilles is not a hero. And some of you may be like, what the heck? And I justified it by his own words, his own actions, his selfish nature, and then of course, you know, just how people are. I mean, you can attribute it to any pro athlete, for instance. You know, if, you know, they're a hero to you because of the performance on the field, if you will, but that's, you're electing to put aside their character if they're a bad person. I'm not saying they all are, but if they're a bad person, you know, or, you know, whatever it is that they do, you're electing to do that and then making them up in your own mind that they're a hero. And all the person did was continue to make my point with everything that they said. I haven't really, I told them that they made my point, and I explained how, but then I kind of left it alone because I'm not trying to, on the first day of class or first week of class, you know, make my classmates upset with me over nothing. You know what I mean? But it's it was just funny to me, you know, and they're like, oh, you know, I got this feeling in my mind, like, what they know of the Iliad and things like that is, you know, I mean, even my professor, the way she wrote about why she considered the guy was a hero, using it as an example, I mean, I can totally refute her argument, you know, as well, again, based off of what was said, you know, in Homer's The Iliad. I mean, you know, Achilles' own words. But it's not worth me arguing about. You know, I'm doing the work. It's my opinion. They're okay with that, and you get the grade, and we move on. And hopefully, once I get done with these little core things, I can move on to stuff that really interests me, you know. And I think the more I think about it, the more I'm leaning towards this computer science degree. I'm just a little intimidated by Calc 1, 2, and 3 at the college level. I mean, it's been a long time since I've been in school. I mean, a long time. Anyway, but I've been passing the time studying, doing this, you know, as I can. You know, we're still working on our house. Looking forward to eventually moving on from the Krieg. I say I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot I got going on. As a matter of fact, I think I can show you guys this. Let me just look it up real quick. Or maybe I can just post it. So I told you guys about a friend of mine that does 3D printing, and he is working on Gorgon stuff for me. And let me see if I can do this. Hold on, let's see here. I tell you what I'm going to do instead of doing it off of Discord, just because I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what his thoughts would be regarding showing you guys this. Let me add a little thing up here, show you guys. Nope, that's my little man. He was not happy about having to go to sleep tonight. It's just like his dad. I want to find something to do. Okay, I think you guys can see this relatively well. So this is what he's working on for me, and surprisingly, he said he was able to get this done today. Just one small problem, I think something to do on the outside or inside, I forget which, that he just wasn't happy with. You know, he wants to give me a good product. I mean, I'm paying for it, of course, but this is going to be the Gorgon, you know, transport for the Krieg. I'm planning on buying a couple of these from him, and I believe they are twice the length, or almost twice the length of a Lehman Russ. So if we take a look at that, let me just narrow this down for you guys. We take a look at that and we measure it based off of here. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. I believe this thing, it's supposed to be able to fit 100 models, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry, 50 models. So, and that's not including how wide it is. I'm sure it's pretty wide. As a matter of fact, I think it's like this compared to the Lehman Russ, and then it's like this compared to the Lehman Russ. So I've only seen one real picture on it, but maybe we can actually, while we're waiting on this, maybe I can find something on the internet. Let me see here. Gorgon versus Lehman Russ size comparison. Maybe it'll be under images. I don't know if anybody even has a Gorgon. Ooh, excuse me. Maybe I should put in Krieg. I mean, for those of you that aren't familiar, I'll just show you what it is that I'm looking at. Hold on. Let me move this out of the way here. This is what we're looking at right here. This thing, okay. But what I'm trying to find is a size comparison that I'm not finding. Maybe we just do all and we can. Let me see. Maybe we can just type in the size. Krieg Gorgon size. Look at that, spotting fakes and using fakes. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. There it is. But that's not what I'm looking for. Is the dimensions. $681. Oof. Let's try this. Oops. Might help if I could spell, right? Maybe we need to put in model dimensions. I don't know. And I spelled, oh, they have armored like the English way of doing it. There's one for $563. 54 piece. No, this is 4/12. Maybe it's got the probably gonna make me verify I'm human. Bus. Yeah, let's see if this thing tells us anything. Probably not, but 54 piece. Transports up to 50 Imperial Guard infantry. Here we go. That's where I saw it. Okay, so they're basically giving us the size comparison here. I don't think that's a great look on it. Especially since we can't see how wide it is. But you guys get the idea. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me pull that down for you. But that's basically what, you know, this right here is going to end up being. So, you know, that's what we're looking at. This thing right here. Alright, let me go ahead and get rid of this stuff here. We'll get rid of this image. Yep. Alright, let's check it out. Feels a little hard, so that's good. Yep, definitely better than what it was. Alright, outstanding. And then just to show you guys, once you have a good mold, I mean, it doesn't take long for you to get set up here. Put this over here. This is where your keys will come in real handy if you make them right. And I didn't on this one, but I did on the other thing. Alright, got that. Get our working cups, grab our jugs. And I'm going to show you guys, if I can, just how little. I mean, even that's a little too much. And that is my squig over here making noise. German Shepherd style squig. It'll be a new model come next Christmas or something, I'm sure. I'm just kidding. But see if you guys can see this. Actually, that one's bad. All right, hold on. That's basically it, guys. We're not. There we go. We're not hardly using anything to produce this. Oh, I didn't mean to pour it in there. I just ruined. See what happens when you're not paying attention? I literally just ruined my. It was supposed to go in there. Oh well. You don't have a very long working time with this, and once this is done, it's gonna harden up. You know, like plastic, like what you're seeing right here. I say you don't have a long working time. It's long enough, but make sure you mix it up pretty good. Alright, let's see here. And then just do a fine stream. And if you can get any distance on it, that'll help with air bubbles. And I mean by like raising it up. And then all I'm doing is pouring this in until the wide opening that has the commander and his arms ends up filling up. Not to mention the air bubbles that are coming to the surface being forced out by the weight of the plastic. There we go. And for those of you that don't know, if it's your first time here, we've also got a channel here and a channel there for air to come up as well. So, man, I can't believe I did that. Nothing I can do about it now. Might as well throw this one away. Get me another cup. But these are just, you know, real cheap, clear-ish cups that I use. Work out fairly well. All right. I'm just happy that the arms are coming out. That was a struggle. Had me a little upset here and there. And it's just, I haven't done this in so long. I mean, you know, we've been gone 5 months off the channel, and I really regret that. I mean, I have a great time doing this with you guys. You know, even if I'm not able to talk to you. Notice we went up 2 subscribers. I don't know if you're legit people or if you're GW spies. No, I'm just kidding, man. I don't really care either way. I mean, other than if you're real people, that's cool. I care about that. I don't care about the GW spy thing. I use a, this is, for those of you wondering, this is not a toothbrush. This is a gun cleaning brush. And I like the stiffness level of the bristles, and that's why I use it. It helps get off, you know, the excess stuff, you know, and clean it up very well, very well. You know, that way I don't have to get in there with a razor blade and risk cutting the model or anything like that. Okay, get these guys out of the way. This over here. cut this off. Sometimes you'll have to get in there and clean it up with a blade, but you know, it's better on a flat thing than, you know, that tank commander where you got to worry about, you know, getting his face or something like that, you know, screwing that up. But like this one, there's some spare plastic, if you will, right here along this edge. Just lightly, just drag your blade across. You're not really cutting, just drag it across. And if you're worried about, like, for instance, oh man, look how wobbly that is. Don't even sweat that. I mean, it's literally not going to matter once it's glued in place. It's going to be straight. So this one's got a little bit right here, a little bit up there. And you can get as particular with this as you want. By the time I'm done with this Krieg army, and even my Steel Legion, between the cami netting and the canvas and stuff that's going to go on the tanks, I mean, you know, mud and things like that, probably it's not even going to be something that anybody's going to worry about. All right, so there's our 6. Let's see here. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 commanders. So we got the commanders. So the only thing we're waiting on is we need to finish up the arms for the Steel Legion guys, and the arms for, we need 6 sets of arms for, oh wait, what am I saying? I still have to make commanders for all these chimeras and stuff. Holy smokes. Well, I guess it's a good thing that we're doing this. I forgot, I got 6 chimeras here. I've got 3 Hellhound Devil Dogs that I got to do, and I need 1 for my Baneblade. I mean, I've got a Commissar tank commander that I might, you know, Death Korps Krieg Commissar tank commander, I might go ahead and put in the Baneblade. I don't know, we'll see, but regardless, I definitely need more commanders. I forgot about that, because every one of my tanks is going to, for the Krieg, you're going to have a tank commander, you know, poking out. Because Krieg aren't scared. That's the way I look at it. Alright, so subject matter that we can talk about that's game related. Everybody's freaking out right now, it seems like, over the new Tau. Oh gosh, what's it called? Storm Surge. The Tau Storm. I don't own one. I don't like the model, and I don't know. But basically, they're freaking out over the fact that this thing, you know, can do 12 damage, I think, per shot or something like that. I don't have all the stats on it, but my gosh, people, come on. Quit freaking out. Quit saying it's OP. Fight the damn thing. Shoot it down, whatever. But I also get some of the, you know, some of the complaint. And the complaint is this, you know, and this is where I take a step back and I try to understand what's really going on with people and what they're talking about. I don't necessarily play to this whole 6 turns nonsense. I get it. You've got to do stuff. You got to have a structured way of doing this kind of stuff. You know, in tournaments and things like that. It's just not. I don't want the game over in 6 turns based on points. When I know that I have played games in the past where it was complete annihilation until it was over, you know, you literally killed everybody on the table, and have that one lone Space Marine last stand that wins the game for you. You know what I'm saying? He refuses to go down. He doesn't fall back, you know, and he's able to win the day. And, you know, and it really plays well to narrative stuff as well. Like I said, I realize you can't really do that structurally for competitive play, but what I think, and you might disagree with me, what I think that makes things OP for people, at least in their mind, is the limit of turns in the game. Okay? Because if you've got something like that, and for some of you, I'm probably telling you something you already know. Okay, but if you've got something like that on the table, that it's gonna, it's gonna take you, 6 turns to kill it or whatever, but it has the ability to wipe out and get major victory points and things like that. Yeah, I could see that. But that's not, if we harken back to 3rd edition, it was never like that. For instance, and I don't mean to be a 3rd edition, elitist, oh, back in my day. Hell, I'm old enough to, or too old for that anyway. Or, no, I am old enough to be like that. Anyway, gotta laugh at yourself, right? My point is, we never got into that kind of stuff. The group that I played with, and then we had 40 guys, and they were great. It was great days. It was awesome. It was a 40-man gaming club, hands down. Yeah, you had some arguments, here and there, or bickering about, what the rules really meant. But the great thing was, even where we were overseas at the time, when I was able to, I was an instructor billet, so I had some time to play and stuff. We had the ability to pick the phone up right then and there, or send an email. This is back when, the internet and email were very young, and you could get an answer from customer service at Games Workshop. Not really how it is now. And what I'm seeing mostly is that all of this is, and again, I'm not a competitive player, so you can tell me I'm wrong, but what I'm seeing is a trend of, we're going to make this thing powerful so people will buy this, and then we keep this cycle going to make each army more powerful over whatever the timeline is, so that people will continue to buy, and the competitive players, they're going to play the meta, whether they, and I don't think GW is losing a lot of money off of eBay, like some people seem to think. I think some people probably do buy those armies, but I think some guys, they just buy brand new stuff, get it sent in. These are serious players. They get the stuff sent in to somebody who's willing to paint it for them. They pay whatever they got to pay. Maybe it's a tabletop ready paint scheme, not even something high speed. And then they go and they play, Nova GT or, whatever it is, Warhammer World if they're in, England and stuff like that. And that's, that's basically what I see. Why is this not hardening? That's weird. It's got me a little worried, actually. No. So yeah, I think it's all of this stuff is based on literally just the making money part of it, and selling models, and that's what they do. Ooh, excuse me. That is that's what their company is for. That's they're. That's what we do. We buy their models. It's what it is. It's just unfortunate, going right back into a previous video where I talked about the seasons thing. I'm not partaking in that, and it's gonna stink, because I have a feeling that those books and whatnot that they release, that there's gonna be a ton of lore and things like that in those books that a lot of us are going to miss out on. But my gosh, man, what's the average cost of a codex? And now you're going to release a supplement, for hopefully half the price. And I'm saying hopefully because we all know that that's not always the case. But it is what it is. I'm in the process right now of one thing. I talked to my wife about it today. She was, she's really supportive of my hobby and stuff. My gosh, dude, the amount of models I have, she'd have to be, or we'd already be divorced, I guess. But, no, she's awesome. But, I think I was watching a Wolf Lord Row video on Primarchs and who might be coming back. Yeah, it was a Row video. And then, you know, who GW might bring back as a Primarch, and it was a toss-up between Angron and Vulcan. I'm sorry, not Vulcan. Lionel Johnson, and Vulcan was just kind of an afterthought, like, you know, how cool would that be? And he's probably the one guy that Gilliman would, you know, listen to or whatever. There wouldn't be any real friction. And she just asked me out of clear blue, she goes, as serious as your hobby is to you and everything, you know, how many of these Primarchs do you have? I paused the video and I said, well, that's a good question. I've got Gilliman because you got him for me. And she goes, I did? So she doesn't remember, but she did. In the box set of, gosh, what's it called? Oh, man. Is it the Fall of Acadia or something like that? I don't know, the 3-book series and 3-box series. So I got him. I've got Mortarion in his demon form. I've got Magnus in his demon form. I have a Vulcan, but it's Horus Heresy, not, you know, obviously 40k. And I believe that's it for Primarchs. I'm not, some of the Primarchs, not overly impressed. Like, if you take a look at the Forge World Primarchs, okay? I guess in my mind I'm stuck on the way a Space Marine in his armor should look. And that includes the Primarchs. You know, obviously the Salamanders are my favorite army. But, well, next to the Flesh Terrors and stuff like that. But if you take a look at Sanguinus, looks like a stinking ballerina in that stupid armor. You take a look at Angron. Here you have a guy that's so angry, so berserker type, whatever. In the model, it's not that he is, but the model makes it look like he's got freaking chicken legs, like he's never worked his legs out in the gym, compared to the rest of his body. You know what I'm saying? I think the Con one that they're just released or are releasing, that one looks good. And that's, in my mind, it's a Space Marine just bigger. Makes sense? The Gilliman model, I'm not real crazy about it. And when I put it together, he's going to have his helmet on. I don't want to look at that stupid face. I mean, you know, honestly, he may not even be Gilliman by the time I'm done with him. Just saying. But what I don't like about him is that his armor changed to not the armor that we think of and look at when it comes to Space Marines, Firstborn, or Primaris. It's this, I don't know, like if you take the legs and arms in a way. Here, you know what? Let me pull this up. Let's see. Roboty Gilliman. Roboty Gilliman. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. And it's mostly in the artwork too. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Okay. So, if we take a look at this, blow this up some if we can. Perfect. Look at his thigh armor here, okay? Look at this. Like it's wrapping around his thighs. Okay? It's stupid. It's stupid. Okay? It makes zero sense. The way that, you know, is molded like that or whatever. And while, yes, he's got a little bit of the Primaris thing going on here, okay? Got his big giant claw and stuff like that. It's just, it's too heroic for me. It's too comic book. That's what I was looking for, comic book. It's too comic book for me. It's not, it doesn't look like what I think he should look like. And I saw a picture of this. Let me go back here. If you take a look at this one, I don't know if this is a Horus Heresy model or whatever. But the thighs would be a little more square. Let's just take a look at this artwork here. You know, a little. I'm saying square, a little more. You know, like the armor would be. You know, heavy. Just, you know, doesn't make any sense how the body gets in there, that kind of thing. And then you've got some official, I guess this is official, what? Robert Gilliman versus Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, whatever. You know, look at this art. I mean, it makes him look like he's got stinking bell bottoms on. You know? Who wants to freaking follow somebody in bell bottoms? I'm just saying. So, but, see, here's a guy that did, you know, he took it upon himself, you know, to make this guy somebody else. Now, it may be still Gilliman, I don't know. I mean, he's definitely Ultramarine. But he went with black armor, I'm digging that. And the black armor actually takes away some of that, you know, we'll call it yoga, Pilates, Richard Simmons, you know, TV workout show leg here. So, Gene Simmons. Sorry, man. Sorry about that. Gosh. There's some more artwork. This isn't too bad because in my mind, the thigh here, thigh armor matches the size for the most part of the leg, not considerably smaller. And I know, you know, it's just me sitting here complaining like the old man that I am. Oh, what's this? Never seen this one before. Ooh. Kind of gives me a samurai vibe. A lot of red though. A lot of red. Not really digging that. But I mean, you know, this model right here, you know, as Robuti Gilliman, if it is, I don't know. That's kind of, you know, how I envision him. I mean, and you also see this on the cover of the Horus Heresy novels, the way that some of the Primarchs look. They're in this armor, and you know they got like tiny head syndrome, or you know the witch doctor got a hold of them or whatever. But regardless, that's, you know, in my mind, that's what I grew up on. That's, you know, it's what I've come to like, and it's just not there with those, you know, what do we got here? Same model. Yeah, excuse me, it's just not there. Just way too, I mean, if they could do this for him, why wouldn't they do this for all of the Space Marines? Hell, even the Primaris don't have this nimble of a look to their armor. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. This is the box set actually that I got it from with Cypher and I don't remember his name, but the freaking Grey Knight guy. In this picture, at least, it looks like his thigh matches at least the size of his knee, you know, to a point. And I'm beating a dead horse here, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just killing time for this thing to cure. Not sure it's quite done, but we're going to find out. Please give me what I want. Okay, looks like we got some of it. We've got a little bit of an error here. A little bit right there with the hand, but I'm not too concerned about that. The binos came out well. This right here, it's not going to matter. It's going to be on the tank itself, glued down. And that's an easy fix. I mean, as soon as I glue it down, the damn glue is going to cover it up and fill that in. So, let's see. That's a little soft. We're going to let that cure still. Cut off some of this excess. But yeah, but this is what I'm working on. Hopefully it's not too boring to you guys. I'm trying to keep it lively with the commentary. And then I'm also trying to, you know, get back into YouTube streaming and you know, kind of make this work out. Remember how to do everything, put it that way. So, alright. Okay. So with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and call this a night, guys. Again, appreciate you tuning in with school and everything else and the little ones running around. I don't have an exact schedule. Like I said, I'm going to try to do this as much as I humanly possibly can. Right now, one a day like I used to do. I like it. I mean, I'm doing it. And after we're done with the Krieg, which is going to be a little bit, I got my brass rods in and stuff to build my Warhound. I got an Imperial Knight and stuff. Once we're done with this army, we move on to Chaos. So that's going to be interesting. We got Nurgle, we've got Slanesh, we've got Tzeentch. I got a lot of Thousand Suns. Holy crap! We actually technically have 2 Nurgle arms. We got the old style and then we got the new style. And what I'm thinking about doing with the old style is them not necessarily being Nurgle. Maybe I can cut off some of the stuff or do something and turn them into some Chaos Space Marines or something. Or maybe we give them away on the channel. So anyway, all that said, guys, thank you so much. If you're interested, there's a Patreon link down below. Help us out with keeping this rolling. And we will see you guys next time.